bodybuilding could benefit from including the non-competitive display of fat bodies alongside muscular ones.
What? So wait now, let me get this straight. We really want fat people to be in a bodybuilding competition next to the bodybuilders to just make it okay for people just to be fat. People, let's start the show.
Welcome to Pastor O'Neil's Review Zone podcast. We are glad that you decided to join us today. This podcast focuses on reviewing topics like movies, music videos, audio clips, and even relationships, so sit back and enjoy the show. Welcome to Pastor O'Neil's Review Zone.
So today, we have a very unique review that we want to really do, but it's more of a rant. You understand? It is more of a rant. And for those who don't understand what I'm saying, it's just a Trinidadian slang means, do you understand what I'm saying? You know, so we say, you understand? All right, okay. I want to talk about the subject. Is it that we are being body positive, or are we just lazy? Think about it for a while. Are we body positive, or are we just lazy? Now, there's a whole movement that has come out these days. All right, the whole body positive, you know, do not fat shame people, do not skinny shame people. All right, and we have opposite ends of it, and that kind of thing. People that have body dysmorphia, which is, you know, it's an unusual, you know, body shape in some way or the other. Some people have longer arms than some. Some people have that characteristic apple shape where they have broader shoulders and, you know, they don't have the hourglass. It's more of a triangle upside down kind of shape. Then you have those that have pear shape, right? Those that have more the skinny top and the broader base at the bottom. More women you will recognize that with, but by and large, you have men that fall into these categories too, you know, and the whole body dysmorphia kind of thing. But I really want to focus in specifically on the whole thing about being body positive. You see, simply because when we talk about being body positive, are we talking about becoming the best us, which I find is the real definition of being body positive, being the best version of yourself? Or is it that we just let ourselves go, and however, as we say in Trinidad, how it hang, it swing? In other words, we don't care what we look like anymore. We don't care if we are oversized. We don't care if we take up 2 seats on an airplane. We don't care, all right, if when we stand in line, nobody can see past us. We don't care. And I mean, we have a whole movement, and I know people are going to be trying to get me to get this video to be striked and all of that. But let's listen to what I'm saying first, and you know, try to understand a couple of things. All right, is it that we are body positive, or are we lazy? I think in the last few years we have had the most diseases come upon the face of the earth. We have had the most diseases come upon the face of the earth. We have also have some of the weirdest type of diseases. We have the most type of cancers that have come upon the earth, and I mean some cancers that, you know, the John Hopkins University have a hard time trying to really grapple with some of these things, and they're just coming up more and more and more. Is it as a result of the times that we are living in, or is it because we have just we've thrown caution out of the window, and we are just out of shape, out of breath. And so diseases are saying, hey guys, it's free, let's go, because diseases thrive within an environment. And sad to say, the environment, unfortunately, is the human body. All right? The environment, unfortunately, is the human body. I mean, we have some cancers coming up in some people that have no history of cancer, that have no history of anything of this sort. But we have these things coming. So are we being body positive, or are we just lazy? That's the question we want to find out. So let's look at the whole Lizzo scene. All right, let's look at the whole Lizzo scene. Lizzo sort of comes out, and she is a hefty girl, right? According to the BMI scale, not me. I'm not fat shaming her. I am just saying, according to the BMI scale, right? Her height and her weight and her gender, the BMI will definitely say that she is obese. That means that she is fat, excessively fat, right? And the correct terminology is obese. So people that are saying that you're fat shaming and so on, you see all these people that talking about we fat shaming, just listen to some stuff, listen to some things here today. All right. So obesity, being obese, is having excessive body fat. And it means the body fat that the body doesn't know what to do, so it just stores it. Now the body needs fat for insulation, and it burns some of the fat as energy at times. But then when we have excessive fat in the body takes what it wants, and the rest of it, it stores it. And what happens that when the body stores fat, it stores it for use later on. But as our sedentary lifestyle increases, and that's one of the problems that we have today, right? In that all of these modern inventions, now I love modern inventions, but it has caused us to be lazy. All of the nice, you press a button, something comes up instantaneously. You make a phone call, we get it instantaneously. You swipe your card, you get it instantaneously. Sometimes we don't even have to leave our homes anymore. All you have to do is to sit down, go on the computer, press some keys, and things come to you. So we have increased now our sedentary type lifestyle, in that we are not moving as much. All right, we're not moving as much. We hardly exercise. We eat whatever we want, and this type of modern way of living has caused this modern generation to be morbidly obese. Morbidly obese. That is what this modern lifestyle and modern inventions have caused among us. All right. And so when you have excessive body fat, you are obese. And I'm not fat shaming, it is just it's just reality. And some of us, we are drinking some type of Kool-Aid that puts us into a delusional state, where we have all these modern terminologies coming out now. Oh girl, that's fine. Boy, don't bother with them now. Well, we quicker would call a man fat. Nobody, men, we don't spare men at all. So let me take men and put them on this side. We don't spare men at all. All right, so a guy is fat, he knows that he's fat, and he will try to do whatever it is, in order to lose the weight or whatever it is. But ladies these days, they're fat. We don't want to say anything because it will hurt their feelings. We'll be fat shaming them. We're not being body positive, and all the type of derogatory things that we like to come up with. But here's the thing. When you have excessive body fat, and I'm talking about you do a BMI comparison, and if you don't know how it is, you just type in BMI on Google, it will come up. You put in your height, You put in your weight, you put in whether you're male or female, right? And according to your age and so on. And it will tell you if you are the correct height or the correct weight for your height and gender, right? And most of us, sad to say, we are morbidly obese. Now look at me, right? We have some guns, and that's not fat. I stepped on a scale the other day and I was shocked. The scale telling me, hey, you're overweight. I am 5'11", right? 190 pounds. And it tells me I am overweight. So I know that I have work to do. And I mean, you're looking at me here and I don't look overweight. Belly and all that big. I don't want to show my belly. I don't want to get a YouTube strike. You see what's going on with YouTubers these days. The people losing, getting pushed off the platform and thing. I ain't get monetized yet, but I'm hoping to. All right. But what I'm saying is that we live in a day and age where we don't want to call a spade a spade. We don't want to say that people are fat. We don't want to say that people are obese. We don't want to come out and hurt people's feelings. But guess what? When you sit down in that delusion there, you are not motivated to get out of something that is detrimental to you. And I mean, if you talk to any doctor these days, they will tell you that our mortality rate is it's gone through the roof because people that's dropping down, dying. Young people, heart attacks and all kind of different things. So I want to just talk to us quickly on this subject matter here. All right. Now, when you are obese, you have real problems. And just to show you how delusional we are, I want to share this clip with you. Just to show you how delusional we are, I want to share this clip with you.
We argued that the only reason people admire bodybuilders who have built their body with muscle and not obese people who have built their body. We argued that the only reason people admire bodybuilders who have built their body with muscle and not obese people who have built their body with eating huge amounts of food is because there's prejudice against fat people. And so bodybuilding could benefit from including the non-competitive display of fat bodies alongside muscular ones.
So this apparently is some type of debate or some type of interview that I had with this lady here that obviously is overweight. And she's talking about, there is something called fat prejudice. Now, I don't know how you view it, but you see, when you are overweight, you are at risk for a number of different things. You are a ticking time bomb. And the person who is going to be destroyed is yourself. So when you are obese and you don't want anybody to say anything and we must have it hush hush and don't think, what it's actually saying is that I want to kill myself and nobody cannot say anything about it. If somebody stands on top of a building and they say I'm going to jump, news cameras will be there, the police, soldiers, National Guard, fire department, everybody, they will cordon off the entire area. All right, they will have negotiators to come up there and try to talk you down. People who are versed in psychological banter and so on. I call it that, psychological banter, who could hit your reverse psychology so they can show you that you are making a mistake by trying to end your own life and that kind of thing. And we go through all of that if somebody wants to jump off a building. Correct? Stop me if I'm wrong. But the minute that we say, hey, you are digging yourself, you're digging your own grave with a spoon or a fork, knife and fork, people find that you mustn't say anything about that. Well, get this. I am pro-life. And I don't want people to be, I want you to live the full extent of your life. I mean, if God comes for you before the time, that is not our control. But what is in our purview, what is in our control, we need to work on that. So you see all this foolishness about body shaming and fat shaming, and we must stop all that nonsense and stop drinking the delusional water. This delusionade that we drinking these days, I don't know if there's a brand of Gatorade that coming out, this delusionade that people drinking, we need to stop it. All right, and I am putting my foot down. We need to stop it. All right. So obese individuals are at higher health risk than the average healthy individual. Do you know that? That you are at a higher health risk than anybody else. You are at a higher health risk for heart disease, because the body now has to, the heart, the cardiac muscle has to pump more vigorous to get the blood through, to go through fat that is just constricting those veins and arteries and so on. You obviously would have a higher amount of the bad type of lipids, the LDLs, you know, the low density lipids, and however it is, all right, within the bloodstream and so on. You have a higher chance, right? You have a higher chance of clogged arteries. You have a higher chance of hypertension. It means that your blood pressure will be higher. And you know that blood pressure, they call hypertension the secret killer, the hidden killer. You could be just walking on the road normal, and then whoop, you fall down, you die. Why? Because you don't want anybody to tell you that you're obese or morbidly obese at that. You don't want anybody to tell you anything. You want to bring a lawsuit against them because of fat shaming, which I personally find they exactly trying to tell you, do not kill yourself. So I personally feel that the devil is at work in this place, putting people under a false delusion. And the Bible tells us that the God of this world has blinded the eyes of them that believe not. He's out here, according to John 10:10, to steal, to kill, and to destroy. And he wants to steal, and you're going to see what he wants to steal your joy. Have you feeling depressed? Have you feeling like suicidal? You don't want to come out and interact with nobody, because you yourself know that you're overweight. You yourself know that you're obese, and so inside your mind you don't want to interact with anybody. You lock yourself in your house, and the excuse you give is that I don't like that, I don't like this, I don't like the other. We're gonna get to that, but let me go one thing at a time. So you're at an increased risk for heart conditions, hypertension, heart attacks. Right? You're at an increased risk for that. You are also at an increased risk for type 2 diabetes, which is another thing that kills people. Diabetes in itself causes a lot of problems. You get kidney problems, eye problems, right? Because once you have once you are I forget the terminology, it will come to me just now. Right? Once you have a greater amount of sugar in your body, your pancreas can't help, right? It's not producing the insulin that is needed and so on to regulate the body sugars. Right? So the terminology is hypo or hyperglycemic, in that you have more sugar in your body than the body can break down and that kind of thing, because you're too fat. You're not exercising enough. And it are people who will come out and talk about, but I know skinny people who have high blood sugar. Listen, stop your nonsense, because we must stop trying to shift the goalpost to suit ourselves by using, right, the minority to prove a point. We do not use the minority. The exception is not the rule. And we cannot use the exception, all right? We cannot use the exception to make a rule. Generally, if you are obese, you are at risk for heart disease, hypertension, heart attacks, and type 2 diabetes, and you can't get away from that. When you are obese, you're at higher risk of joint problems because the joints are not built to carry among that extra weight. Some of us can't even walk up a flight of stairs without breathing hard. In fact, we ain't even using the stairs again. We're going to use the elevator. We're going on the escalator. All right? If you go in a taxi and because of your size, you take up 2 seats, are you going to pay for the extra seat? No, we don't want to pay for the extra seat because it's you alone traveling in. That is inconsiderate. How the taxi drivers and them can make their income and so on. And we very selfish with it too. We want to kill ourselves, and we want everybody to be on board with me killing myself. I want everybody, and I mean, I don't want to use the terminology too much. I don't want YouTube to ban me here. But I want us to wake up to the reality that what we are doing and saying body positive, we are actually destroying ourselves. All right? You are at higher risk of respiratory issues. We talk about that. You can't walk up a flight of stairs. Even to get up into some of these SUVs, you can't do it. You need somebody to push you up. Huh? You can't walk up a hill. Your kid going to the park. You can't even fly a kite to run to fly a kite because you had to hire somebody to do that. Does that make sense? When you are obese, you are at higher risk of sleep apnea. For those who don't know what that is, it means that you snore plenty when you're sleeping. And some people actually die of that. All right? And we want everybody to be on board with that. I'm not on board with that, my friends. I'm not on board with that. You are at higher risk when you are obese with cancers. Higher risk of cancer. All right? You're higher risk of cancer. So you have health risk, and you also have psychological impacts with this thing too. So not only is your health affected, which is the physical, you have mental issues now, which is the part that the unseen part that we can't see, the soul or the spirit, the spiritual aspect. Remember we talk about the God of this world has blind the eyes of them that believe not? Yes. So I'm trying to let you know that the devil is working against you to try to take your very life before it's time. And when you take a life before it's time, it's called abortion. It's trying to destroy your life before it has a chance to come to term. Miles Monroe had said that the graveyard is one of the most richest places. Nobody don't want to rob a graveyard. Stop robbing banks and things. Try and rob a graveyard. Because in the graveyard, you have books that have never been written, movies, scripts that were never written, you have relationships that never got to come to fruition, and the children would have been the offspring of those relationships. They don't have that. People who would have invented certain things. I personally believe that the reason why we can't have hyperspace travelers yet is because the person that was supposed to invent that probably never got a chance to invent it, and we don't know. I said I'm pro-life, so the whole abortion issue coming into this. And I know some people would like to say, well, what if somebody get raped, and what about this, and what about if you have a choice to make between the mother and the child, and listen, you see all them hypothetical issues. all of those issues don't ever come to bear each time somebody does an abortion. I am telling you. Most of the time it's carelessness. Most of the time it's because you're just living carefree. Most of the time, sometimes we're drunk, we're on drugs, all right? And then we just want to stop using the exception to try to make a rule out of it. Stop drinking delusion aid. Let me get back on topic before somebody try to get me a strike out here. Right. So the psychological impact from being obese is low self-esteem. Your friends say, hey, come on now, let's go out, let's go and watch a movie. But no, you with your obese self say, no, it's okay, I good, I stay home tonight. Now, granted, it has some people that just want to do that. But you can't just want to stay home all the time. You must socialize. You must interact. God created us to be social beings. Right? One of the psychological impacts of being obese is depression and anxiety. Are you recognizing here that it has more disadvantages to being obese than there are advantages? Are you recognizing that? And all of these disadvantages are geared towards destroying you. And this lady who was talking here wants us to let me bring it back up.
We argued that the only reason people admire bodybuilders who have built their body with muscle and not obese people who have built their body with eating huge amounts of food is because there's prejudice against fat people. And so bodybuilding could benefit from including the non-competitive.
Prejudice against fat people. Prejudice against fat people. You can't walk up a flight of stairs. You can't help it, your child fly a kite in the park. All right? You have low mobility because all your joints hurting you, because your body was not built to carry the amount of weight. You have to be going around in a scooter or a wheelchair all the time. Is that healthy? No, it is not. And don't talk about hyperthyroidism, and all of these hormonal imbalance. We always trying to bring these frivolous excuses to try to why we must remain how we are. We lazy. There has never been a generation that has been more lazy like this generation. We don't want nobody call us out on our nonsense. I was reading a comment sometime, and we use all of these psychological issues as if it's a trophy. I was reading a comment and somebody was saying, my anger issues would never. So you have anger issues. Why are you not working on it? Why are you not seeing a therapist? And listen, the honest way to know if your anger issues are going down is something called put you in situations where you can get angry but sin not. But no, we want to continue how we are. Bipolar. We bipolar. We have this issue, we have that issue. And people wear it as a badge. I bipolar. I this. I fat and I'm proud. You see all this foolishness? It's destroying us. Right? And you continue to follow Lizzo. You see the problem Lizzo in right now? Yeah. She oversized and she even fat shaming. So anyhow, that's something. I don't want to get into that. See, you're probably making me want to get into things. So, psychological impact, low self-esteem, depression, anxiety, social isolation. We talk about that just now. Social isolation. You don't want to go out and meet nobody because on a subconscious level, you know very well. You know very, very well that it is because you are obese why you're that way. But you don't want anybody to tell you anything about it. You want everybody to say that you're positive. Girl, you good. And listen, women, you all are guilty of this especially. Right? If a guy come out and say, girl, you're fat, oh good, fire and brimstone. Escort us. Lightning coming to strike down that man. You understand? But women now, we keep the delusion going. The delusion, hey, we just be drinking, we keep that going. Girl, you good. And some already deceitful. You know why? Because you know very well that Becky, with her 200-pound self, can't get to Ken. But you like Ken too. You going to the gym, you working out, and you sliding into Ken DMs because you want Ken to respond to you. You telling Becky, girl, you good, you can pull in anybody. But she 200-pound self, knowing very well that Ken ain't even look in her direction. You know what you're doing? You're cutting off Becky You're cutting off Becky from the competition pool. We go talk about that in another podcast. And show you how sometimes we deceitful, right? Girl, you looking good. You fine. You fine as hell, girl. You got you're deceitful. Yeah. So how do we come out of this delusion that we are in? Talking about body positive and you're 200 pounds. You heavier than some bodybuilders. Right. How do we get out of that? First of all, we need to understand that we need to start dieting. I'm talking about stop eating. No. That will make it because what happens is that the body, remember I tell you, whatever the body needs, it will store it. And if you stop eating, here's what happens. The body sometimes doesn't know when it's going to get the next amount of nutrients. So what it does is that whatever little bit you eat, it stores it. Right? And it says, listen, people in charge of stores, do not let anything come out because we don't know when new goods coming in. So Olya, do not let out the stuff all you have in store. Basically, that's what the body does. So not eating or I know it's the keto diet, but the keto diet is a type of cycle where you put the body into a state of burning out, and you have to do that under supervision and with people who properly know how to do it. But I'm talking about people who might say, well, I wouldn't eat breakfast today. Instead, why don't you eat simple carbohydrates, right? That will be easily burnt out. So fruits and vegetables and so on. You have a V8. Eat some fruits and vegetables. Simple. And you are incorporating now exercise. We're not talking about just walking here. We are talking about putting the body in a little bit extra or past its normal activity style. Because the body knows you're accustomed walking from inside your house to the car. That is not exercise, Becky. That's not exercise. You're accustomed walking from your car in the parking lot to the elevator. That is not exercise. That's your normal, regular day. We're talking about now going to a gym. Right? Going to a gym and exercising. This is where you need family and friends to check in with you and to check up on you. Have an accountability partner. You know what an accountability partner is? Somebody who will tell you the truth and who would not lie to you and tell you, girl, you're looking good with your 200-pound self. No, you're not looking good. As a man, I'm telling you, you're not looking good. And some of you all women that want to get married, I mean, yeah. It's have people who like oversize and so on. That is the exception again rather than the rule. Because I am telling you, no man who worth his weight in salt is going to take somebody who is on Unhealthy. That's what I'm looking for there. Unhealthy. Right? So what we are doing, we want to normalize being unhealthy. And it's a pandemic, it's a sickness. This worse than COVID. At least people was trying to do something about COVID. Whether you believe it was real or not, listen to me. The world actually got better. Fog, smog in some places clear up. Right? Other diseases in some places clear up. People started washing their hands more, wearing masks, exercising, social distancing. And other diseases started, the common flu went down. You know why? Because we started to become clean and sanitary again instead of being nasty. Oh, Pastor, you're getting on bad today. Yes, I'm getting on bad today. Because we like to do a sort of foolishness. And I have to call it foolishness. Right? How can we normalize being unhealthy? How can we normalize being sick? How can we normalize having mental issues? I don't get it. Maybe somebody can highlight that to me. Right? So you need to have a supportive environment by having family and friends. And also seeing a therapist. A lot of us have mental issues and we are not aware of it. But I'm telling you, if you are obese, you don't like to socialize with anybody, you don't want anybody telling you about your diet, you cannot walk from here to the bathroom without panting for air, and you feel that if anybody tell you anything, they are not being body positive, let me tell you something, you have mental issues and you need to check yourself into the closest mental health facility and let them check your brain. Because as the Spanish say, you are muy loco en la cabeza. You need to check yourself. So, that's just my little rant about obesity and the whole being body positive thing. I believe we're not being body positive, we're just lazy. Right? We have a generation today that is just lazy. We don't want to do the work that it takes to be better. We just want to stay how we are. Listen, Jesus Christ, now this might have some people. Jesus Christ don't even love you how you is. You never heard it like that. Let me tell you something. If Jesus Christ loved you the way how you are, he would have never asked you to repent. He'd have never asked you to repent. He'd have never said, let this mind which was in Christ be in you. He would have never give you a Bible that tell you, hey, you have heard of this, do that. In terms of the Beatitudes, Matthew chapter number 5 to 7, he would have never, he'd have just leave you how he is. Christ loves you. Listen, he doesn't judge you. So that is the grace that is sufficient to bring you to the cross. But once you come to the cross, listen to me, now we have to make some changes, my brothers and my sisters. We have to change our stinking thinking. We have to change our minds. We have to put in the work. We have to pray. We have to fast. We have to do some changes. Why? Because how we was going, God does not want us to be like that. I'm sure no pastor does preach this kind of thing because we just pandering to the nonsense. But I am one to tell you the truth. All right? People in marriages, women don't want to change the way how they are. Men don't want to change the way that they are. We just want to remain the same. And as soon as anybody, trying to bring us to make us better, listen, iron the sharpen iron. All right? And sometimes when iron sharpening iron, sparks will fly. But guess what? You're being better. Some of us don't want to be better. So the minute somebody calls some sparks to fly, we feel like they're against us, we divorce them one time. And that's why we can't get anywhere. I just counsel people. And people, you would never see me recommending anybody you divorced 3 and 4 times and you're coming from me to marry you to this other person's wife to have a next divorce again. I am not doing it. Work on yourself first. This generation is too lazy. And it shows in our lifestyles. It shows in our attitudes. You will see women talking on the different podcasts, on different TikToks, on Instagram, Twitter, all social media. They're talking all sorts of things and they just stay in how they are. They want a spouse, they want a boyfriend. They're staying how they are. Listen to me. You have got to work on yourself. Work on your attitude. Work on your health. Work on your mental issues. See a therapist. See a shrink. Work on your mental health. All right? So, I done gone over my time already because this wasn't supposed to be long. That's supposed to be a rant. But yeah, I hope that you get some information and some encouragement out of this. I might be a little bit abrasive, but listen, it like Buckley's. It might taste awful, but it works. All right? Start going to the gym. You don't have a gym, that's fine. Get 2 therapies, put on some nitro music or some drill music, exercise in your living room. Start right there. Change around your whole diet. Stop eating a set of rice and pasta and cut those things out. A set of red meat and this meat and that meat and steak and all. Cut those things out. Try doing like a fish diet. If you want to eat meat, eat fish. Right? And take care of yourself because I want to be able, some of you all, I want the inventions that you have. I want the books that you have to be read, the movies that must be produced, the songs that has to be sung. I want to hear those songs. I want my children to hear those songs. So take care of yourself. All right? So until next time, people. Body positive or are we lazy? I believe we're just lazy. Time for us to get out of that. All right? Talk the truth and shame the devil. Yeah. Let's be positive. By being the best version of you. Being body positive means have the best body that your frame can handle. Not being overweight. That's a lie. That's killing yourself with a spoon. All right? So, until we meet again, people, take care, have fun, and listen. If you like this video, share it with somebody. Like and subscribe. I think I reached the 9 subscribers. This is a brand new channel. All right? Listen, let's interact, let's share, let's have a conversation. Okay? So take care, guys. Have a great day. Like and subscribe. Have a good day.